Exactly 10 years ago, in September 2012, I made one decision that turned out to change my life forever, and that was to walk through those doors where I actually started to learn Chinese for the next 2.5 years. And not only is it my 10th year anniversary of attending Shida MTC, it is actually Shida's 100th anniversary as well, the same month as I'm celebrating 10 years. So in order to celebrate these two historic events, I first of all thank Shida for completely changing my life and to greet me here to Taiwan and making me want to stay for first of all 2.5 years studying Chinese, but now as well also 11 years in this beautiful country of Taiwan. Today I just wanted to come back, relive the days of my youth, but I also wanted to see if I can go in and see if I can find a student so we can actually talk about and compare how it is to be a student at Shida now and 10 years ago. And here we now are in the middle of MTC, in the heart of NTNU, with one of the current students, which might be a familiar face to some of you as well, Camille.
Hi everyone.
How are you and how have you been since I saw you last time?
I am really good and I have been really good. The heat has taken a toll a little bit, but other than that, it has been a really good time, to be honest. Yeah.
What have I missed? Can you bring me up to speed? Because as you might know, I've actually been in Sweden during the summer. What did I miss?
Pelosi. To start with.
Yes. I kept myself updated though on the news.
Yeah.
I should also point out that this was not planned at all. I was just walking around here, coming here to just record the corridors, and as I was just like scouting the different classrooms, and I was literally like watching through my camera. It's like, I know her. Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but this month actually, it's the 100th anniversary of Shida. It's also my 10th anniversary of attending Shida.
Kidding?
So we're celebrating 110 years here together.
恭喜.
How long have you been a student at Shida?
This is my 6th month, so my 2nd semester.
So you have like the finals coming up soon then?
I just did it this morning.
Oh, you just did it this morning?
Yeah.
Oh wow, how did it go?
Well, I'm happy.
Well, 恭喜恭喜.
谢谢.
Have you noticed like a difference from like your first week at Shida to now, like 6 months in?
Definitely less shy to try to speak Mandarin in general. So the first week I wasn't too sure about necessarily my level. I was super excited, but I didn't speak that much. And now today I try to do conversation with my fellow like classmates. I really look forward to just practice speaking. I'm not that scared of making mistakes anymore. I just want to practice as much as I can and see the improvement. I think that's a big thing too. Like from the first week up until now, I can really see the progress that I made. So it's very encouraging, and it just makes you want to do it more every day.
Where are your classmates from?
My classmates this semester are from Croatia, St. Lucia, Guatemala, Portugal. I'm forgetting someone.
They're gonna watch this now.
I know,
They're gonna watch this. And
I'm sorry.
I think it's so fascinating because you start to hear like conversations from literally all around the world.
Yeah.
So you walk through and you hear like some people speaking Russian, some people speaking Italian, Spanish. For me actually, when I was a student here 10 years ago, back in the day, as some of you might know, I was actually not motivated at all to study Chinese, and I just came to Taiwan because I wanted to escape Sweden. And then I had Taiwanese friends at the time who said you should go to Shida MTC, and I was like, yeah, why not? But instead of only staying for 3 months, I studied for 2.5 years. And I feel like my greatest motivator was that my classmates were from all over the world. Half of them did not speak English. So in order for me to actually be able to communicate with them, my classmates and my new friends in this foreign country to me, I had to improve and I had to like learn Chinese in order to communicate. So what motivates you?
I want to be able to speak Mandarin because I feel like in the West in general, we have a very small understanding from a Quebecer's perspective of the...
Canadians know nothing.
I do think that we don't know that much about the East in general. So I thought if at least I can learn one language and then be able to contribute to a greater understanding between the East and the West, then I want to be able to do that, and I want to do it correctly, the right way, and be as fluent as possible in order to really be able to understand as much as I can.
It's a little bit different for me, just like wanting to escape the cold Swedish for months. What would you say is your favorite thing about studying in Shida?
The variety of resources that we have. For example, we have the classes, then we have big classes, then you can also have a language exchange if you want. So there is, I think, something that can fit every type of learner. So I think that's a great advantage about studying here.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks to you.
And in this video, we're actually going to continue to the location where I spent most of my time during my student days here at Shida 10 years ago. Admit it, you thought it was going to be in one of the classrooms, didn't you? But it is actually here, outside of the school, where I first of all spent most of my time, but also where I 100% would argue that this is where I learned the most Chinese. Inside in the classrooms, of course, I personally think that all the teachers inside here is simply amazing, but it is actually out here where you will have your classmates and your actual life here in Taiwan, where you will actually use all the Chinese that you have learned just a couple of seconds ago inside of these doors. And this is what will keep you motivated to continue to learn, not only for the 2 hours each day you have a class, but through the 24 hours of your life. Because, and I can actually confirm this myself, you will eventually reach the point when you start dreaming in Chinese, and then you will wake up thinking in English, what the hell just happened? But just be careful, because one day you will also wake up realizing that you have lived here in Taiwan for 11 years. It feels so weird. It feels so weird to be back. This is where we spend like hours every single day for over 2 years. I guess trying to study, but just having a great time, getting to know your classmates, getting to know people from literally all over the world, using Chinese, which is just like such a weird language for a Swede. And you guys have no idea how many times I've come here to getting one of these fruit boxes and a drink. For historic accuracy, this should be 一杯珍珠奶茶，不用珍珠谢谢. But just to save the tento and just to get my morning coffee so we can actually continue with this video, I decided to go with a coffee. But other than that, I think it's this exact same fruit as well that we had for all these years. And I remember that these fruit boxes was actually how I learned the names of the fruit. And that is what I love about studying Chinese here, that it just comes down to this hands-on, real-life use case. But before we continue with the rest of this video, it's time for me to get some breakfast and energy, because the next stop on this Shida tour is actually the track running field just across the road, where, believe it or not, I actually spent a lot more time than both myself and you could possibly imagine. And now we're back here at Shida Track and Field. I promised myself that I would never ever come back here, because you have no idea the blood, sweat and tears and the sacrifice that has happened here on this field. This is where Shida Dragon Boat team was practicing 3 hours every day from 6 to 9 a.m. and then straight to class, and then you pretty much fell dead asleep right after lunch. It was the absolute worst time of my life, but also the greatest memory. Sadly, there's no Dragon Boat season right now, but if you have been a long time subscriber to this channel, you might remember that I actually already made a video about Dragon Boat specifically. So I thought I would just show you some few clips from that previous video that will give you a very quick summary of how life in Shida Dragon Boat team actually looks like. If you've never seen a dragon boat before, it's basically like a normal boat, just longer, narrower, and the seats are tiny. Just imagine like an airplane seat, but you need to wear a life jacket and you need to bring a paddle. So just imagine that you're bringing a paddle and wearing a life jacket next time you're on a flight, and then you have the full dragon boat experience. Oh. Hey, you see? That's me, that's me, that's me, that's me right there. There we go. Yeah, it's a flag! Look at that. Oh my god. Goosebumps, goosebumps, goosebumps. This guy, look. Like, how sick is that? Like, that's our coach. Karate, slash it, Mr. Miyagi style. Oh, Goosebumps. Goosebumps. The strongest feeling of satisfaction and relief that it was all over. We get kicked out in the quarterfinals. I guarantee you no one cared. When we were done there, we were all the happiest dragon boaters Taiwan has ever seen. I don't regret doing it, but I will never do it again. And before we end this video, I of course also want to mention Shida Night Market. I know that this is technically not part of Shida NTNU school, but you know, it should be, because if the school is where you have your daily classes, then Shida Night Market is where you have your daily tests. This is where you will learn the difference between Lu Wei and Lu Hui. This is where you will learn the difference between Peking dumping, Weiyu dumping, Umi dumping, Cheetah dumping. This is also where you will learn how to read a menu and order food as a local, and this is also 100% why I love living in Taiwan and why I love learning Chinese right in Taiwan instead of trying to learn it back in your home country. And just like all my previous student days at Shida ended right here at Shida Night Market, so will also this video. As always, thank you all so much for watching. My name is Lukas, starts with L as in like, ends with S as in subscribe. Please do both, and see you all in the next one.